nächster Zwischenstopp auf unserem Trip durch die heiligen Hallen von Microsoft is Forza 7. And next to me, you're the community manager for the game, and you're trying to show us what you have in store here at Gamescom. And what is that?
Well, we've got 3 experiences here on the show floor at Gamescom 2017, 2 of which we've seen at E3 earlier in the year, and one that's brand new for Gamescom. So I think we're going to check all 3 out, right?
Of course.
Let's do it.
Definitely.
So we've got the Porsche 911 on GT2 RS, which we have here at the booth right over that wall. You can see the real car. But the 911
Does it have gas?
Well, you and I can take it for a spin later. How about
Awesome.
that? All right.
Awesome.
But we'll take it for a spin in Dubai here, which is a new track for us in Forza Motorsport 7. We've got the Nürburgring here in the Nissan Nismo Motul race car. That one's got a lot of weather effects. I think you'll like that. Lots of rain, lots of thunder and lightning. And the new experience is the Radical RXC Turbo on Sonoma in California. So wherever you like, we can start.
Oh, let's start with the Porsche.
Okay. So, of course, the 911 GT2 RS, that's the car that we unveiled at E3. The world debut of that car was on stage at E3, which was really special for us. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Forza, but I want to point this out, that we have assists here that you can turn on or off depending on how you like to drive and what your experience level is. Right now, all of the assists are on, so it's going to help you around the track.
Let's leave them on.
All right, sounds good. And our driver tire difficulty, that's your opponent's, it's probably set to pretty low, so it's probably good to set them, keep it as is for now, and then in the next race, if you're feeling good, you can bump it up. So Dubai is our new track. It's based obviously on the real world locale of Dubai and the Hafit Pass here, which has been called one of the greatest driving roads in the world. So when you're ready, you can just hit the A button and we'll jump right into it.
The one thing that I always ask myself when I see images such as the one we just saw, what do you think is, I mean, you're the community manager, but what do you think is the most difficult aspect of programming, you know, these realistic type graphics? Because I've seen the clouds, which look incredible.
Yeah, you can see the clouds here on the left side of the screen as we started.
That's the handbrake
is the A button, I believe.
No, it's B.
Is it B?
It's B, and I tried X.
Okay.
Because it's always either X or B.
Gotcha.
And I'm usually on the wrong side of the spectrum.
Well, you'll notice we do have the driver's line here. So when the traffic clears a little bit, that's going to be a really good indication of when you need to speed up and when you need to slow down. But to answer your question about what's most difficult, frankly, we take all aspects of recreating the real world here very seriously, whether it's the cars, whether it's the tracks themselves. In the case of a track like Dubai here, this particular layout doesn't exist in the real world. There's elements of the Hafit Pass here that we've taken that exist in the real world. And there's elements of Dubai. You see the cityscape there in the beginning, but we've combined those into something that's truly unique here for Forza. So in the case of a track like Dubai, it's trying to capture the essence of Dubai.
Yeah.
You see the clear blue skies and you feel the heat on the road. You can feel how hot it is in Dubai. And you feel that in the road itself. The tarmac is very hot, so you're going to have a lot of grip on this surface in this beautiful 911 GT2 RS. But you also see these incredible rock faces as you're climbing the hill here. These are all built with a technique we use called photogrammetry, which basically uses photographs to recreate these surfaces of real-world objects and gives us that much more detail. You're passing by the Mercure Hotel. That is a real place on top of this hill. So you have these elements of the real world that come into a track that doesn't exist in the real world, but is influenced by the real world.
And I can feel, I mean, I don't have the headphones on because I think the sound is going to be a very big influence of how you experience the game, but I can feel it over the feedback on the controller, how the grip feels, and I'm looking forward to seeing how, you know, the wet track that you mentioned feels real differently in my hands. The airplane, holy crap.
I think what you'll find is if you were listening to it on headphones, you're in third-person view right now. We have a cockpit view, of course. In fact, we have 2 cockpit using the rewind. Perfect for if you make a mistake, you can hit the rewind button and keep going. But the sound will change depending on what view you're using. So if you were in cockpit, you would feel from the sound perspective that you were inside the cockpit of this GT2 RS. So it's really important to us that...
How do we switch?
This button right here will switch you. So that's your second third-person view. Now you're inside the car in our first cockpit view. And you can see the cracked windshields. And you really get that sense of violence. You're moving around and you're being jostled around. Everything that you you feel the impact of every bump in the road.
And I see the light reflecting on the cracks.
Yep. Yep. You want to keep a clean windshield if you can, but it's not always possible.
Yes.
So here you're coming through the tunnel. This is the straight towards the start-finish line. You're about to begin your second lap at Dubai.
Do you also get dust or other, obstructions, lens flare?
You'll see it once you pass the hotel and you're going back downhill. You'll actually see dust flowing across the roadside there. And of course, when it's rain, we'll see this at the Nürburgring.
Yeah.
But when it's raining, you've got sheets of rain coming down on your windshield. You got the windshield wipers are working to try to keep your view clear. But yeah, this is a great view. In fact, you actually switch to our second cockpit view, which is a little bit closer to the windshield. It takes away the wheel from the screen here. It's perfect for players who like to drive with a real wheel and pedals. Yeah. That's why we have this view for players who like to play like that.
I don't know, to me it's the one that feels the most natural, because I don't know if you noticed, but this, I haven't been in an accident for like 20 seconds. That is 19 seconds. That is like incredible.
Well, that's great. I mean, I think hopefully you're getting a little bit more used to the feel here. The assists are definitely helping you out. In fact, in the single player game, when you're going through our career, you're going to be able to change the assists in the middle of a race. So if you have assists on, you're like, this is too easy. In the middle of the race, hit pause, change those assists, and you'll get more credits at the end of the race. That's the first for Forza Motorsport. So you can change your assists in the middle of a race.
And you still get credits for the higher difficulty. So I can just play on easy, then switch it up in like the first last 5 meters and basically grind out credits.
Yeah, we actually have, I don't know if you played with mods in Forza Motorsport 6, but we have the mod system returning in 7, and we think of it much more as a challenge system this time around. So we want people to be rewarded for turning off assists. We want people to experience the full depth of our simulation. And so we use mods that you set at the beginning of a race. And you, just like you said, if you were to drive in cockpit cam only and you set that mod that required that, you would earn more credits at the end of the race. But we also have tools where you can dramatically extend the length of a race. So let's say you have 3 mods enabled and you go for a nice long 30-minute race. You're going to earn a ton of credits at the end of the race.
Of course, yeah.
Because you challenged yourself and because you used our RaceLink tools. That's very much by design. We want people to be rewarded in that way. So here's where I was talking about earlier. As you come down here, you're in the sand dunes, you're going to start seeing the dust traveling across the road there.
Those HDR effects.
Oh, they look amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're HDR, 60 frames per second, 24 cars on the track. This is 4K gaming, delivered on Xbox One X, native 4K. We're really proud of the way this game looks. But, frankly, this game looks awesome on Xbox One,
Yeah.
We've really built this game to look great no matter what platform you're playing on, whether you're playing on Xbox One X, Windows 10 PC, or Xbox One. All right, push in for 4th place.
Third place.
Yes! Nice, on the podium.
Yes.
I love it.
That's like just to get started, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
But the thing is, you're the community manager,
That's right.
and we talked about the career mode, the single-player experience. What do you have in store for the community, for multiplayer experiences?
Yeah, we've got a lot going on. One of the things we wanted to do is, when you were playing Forza Motorsport 6 and you were in multiplayer, you're basically staring at a UI screen of a bunch of names in a list, right? For Forza 7, you're on track in multiplayer. When you're waiting for a race to begin, you are on the track. Your driver is out of the car. You've got your driver gear. Everybody's got a different driver suit going on. You can check out each other's cars. You can actually tune your car while you're waiting for the race to load. And that's very intentional. We want people to be engaging, not just waiting for a race to begin, but socializing and tuning their cars and having fun. So we'll talk a little bit more about multiplayer, but are we going to the Nürburgring next?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's try the rain.
Outlast the storm. So you're in the Nissan race car, GTR race car.
Yeah.
I want to point out one thing before we actually run in there, because we talked about driver gear.
Yeah.
We've got some driver gear you can check out here, actually.
Okay.
Driver gears.
Let's do it.
We've got 300 suits that you can, more than 300 suits that you can collect in the game, and they cover decades of like pop culture and motorsport history. A lot of fun stuff in there. So if you go to driver gear, you'll see a small sampling of the kind of suits we have available.
Okay.
So Microsoft, they're all available for male or female drivers, whichever you like. And this is really just a small representative sample of what we've got going on. But if you imagine, we've got like tuxedos and silly stuff like old school racing suits where it was just like a cloth helmet and just fun stuff like that I think people are going to get a kick out of.
You mentioned 300 different suits.
Yes.
Is there going to be an achievement for collecting all of them?
Well, we haven't announced our achievements yet, but I would imagine.
Why? Why don't developers do that? Oh, that's usually the last thing that gets announced, like 3 days before the release of the game.
It's fun. It's fun. But let me tell you this, because related to that, rewards in Forza are blown out this time around. So we've got 700 cars in our game. We've got 300 driver suits. We've got credits. We've got mod packs. All these ways that we can reward players. And we've really blown that out with how you collect cars in our game. The more cars you own, the better rewards you're going to get at the end of a race. So the game wants you to own cars and collect these cars, because that means at the end of a race, you're going to get a lot better. You're going to get exclusive driver gear. You're going to get rare cars you can only get by winning these events. So it's kind of like the achievements in that sense of, you have this sense that some of these things are very rare and you have to do very special things to get them. And we hope people will be intrigued by that and want to dive into it and really explore what you can collect with these rewards.
Yeah. First of all, can we get the driver gear on screen for a second to show the differences? We have 3 here at the Gamescom that we can choose, and I think I'm gonna go with Isaac from Dead Space.
Nice.
This is
all right. Here we are at the Nürburgring.
Yes.
Everybody's favorite track.
Which is built just like the original.
Just like the original, you have the Nordschleife, you have the GP course, and you have the combined. And of course, you're going to see this race is very different from the previous.
Sorry, the windshield wiper just
Yes.
moved up and down.
Yeah, you can see
and
the
the
wing.
antenna, holy! This, this is really the kind of detail that I am looking for when I'm playing games. This is like.
Well, we were talking earlier about how, oh, nice move. Nice, in first place already. We were talking earlier about that feeling of violence when you're driving. If you've watched a professional driver in a cockpit driving at a car at its peak, he's being jostled around in the cockpit, things are moving, and the instrument clusters are being affected by the physics. We want for you to feel that in the outside of the car and the inside of the car, so you really feel that sense of danger when you're driving. You can see the windshield wipers there, sort of rattling around as they're moving. You're driving this car very fast, and the forces of physics are working on the loose parts of the car. You can see the hose here that's being shaken around, and now it's starting to rain.
Now, holy, I mean, you mentioned that I'm in first place already. I've been on Nürburgring in several different other racing games before, so I know my way around this one.
Yep, this is the GP track. Rain is, they call rain the great equalizer in racing, right? Because everybody is tested when it rains. And you can see the windshield wipers working. You can see the water droplets beating on the windshield itself. And hopefully you can feel that the car already feels a little bit looser, a little bit slippier in these corners. As the rain intensifies, this is a 2-lap race. As this rain intensifies, you're going to see some puddles developing, and that's going to be a real challenge, I think. So you can see puddles starting to form. In our game, like we were talking about earlier, we want every time you come back to the track to feel like a different experience. So when you're playing either in multiplayer or in the single-player game, every time you come back to the Nürburgring or Suzuka or Maple Valley, the weather might be a little bit different, or the time of day might be a little bit different. The track temperature will vary, and that means that every race is going to be a little bit different from the last time you played it. Or it might just stay clear. So you have all of these different options, and we built these experiences so you can really challenge yourself as a driver to deal with these really adverse conditions.
But I'm very lucky that I have an automatic car.
That's true. That always helps. This is one of the trickiest corners right here in my estimation, this little horseshoe here. Get too deep in there and the puddles start taking over, and now you're going back uphill.
But since you mentioned multiplayer again, we were talking about the community aspects of the game, and after we talked about the career mode, how do you advance in multiplayer? Is there going to be a level system, or?
So there's a overall leveling system within Forza. That hasn't changed. You still earn XP and you level up. We talked about that car collecting.
Yes.
That's new for Forza 7. In multiplayer, one of the things that's really cool is we have leagues returning for Forza 7. We have rivals returning. We have Forzathon events, which were in Forza Horizon 3, are coming to Forza Motorsport 7. And again, all of these different ways to play are fun. They also are rewarding. We talked about the rewards earlier. You can see the light changing on the track here as we get towards the end.
The clouds.
Yes, amazing lighting. But yes, of course, we're going to have multiplayer. The Forza Racing Championship, our esports series, is going strong. It's going to be a big part of Forza Motorsport 7 as well. So if you're competitive and you want to race, Forza 7 is going to be perfect. It's also, we've got mixer integration. We've got improved spectating tools. It's racing in Forza is not just competitive, it's a spectator sport.
And
nice job, first place.
Yes. And everything you mentioned is accessible both in single player and multiplayer. So if I unlock a car, I have it everywhere, and I can do.
Actually, it's actually any car in the game is available in multiplayer. Okay.
Yep.
Everything. So some cars in the single player game you have to buy cars. You have to collect cars in Forza 7. But if you want to play in multiplayer, every car is available to you. Now you're not going to be necessarily earning XP or earning credits, but you will be able to drive it.
Okay.
But in order to get it rewarded, you have to own the car.
Yeah.
So that's the difference there.
And of course, there will be exclusive rewards for Forzathon events, like we know from Forza Horizon 3, and other new aspects of the community. There is definitely something that you have not told us yet.
Well, I can tell you that painting is back. Of course, you're going to be able to move all of your paints from Forza Motorsport 6 or Forza Horizon 3 into Forza Motorsport 7, so you're not going to lose your work there. You're going to be able to continue that great work. We haven't talked about Forzathon events yet because we want to leave a surprise for people when they come online. But you can expect that the fun that people had in Forza Horizon 3 with Forzathon is only going to continue. We got Auction House in Forza Motorsport 7. That's something people spend a lot of time on. That's another way to get cars. There's just a lot you can do in the game to earn rewards, not just cars, but driver suits and all sorts of good stuff.
Great. So now that we have the warm-up completed, let's dive into the new stuff.
Now, this is probably of the three the most challenging car to drive. And because of that, this is a track day. You won't be up against opponents. You're just going to be doing hot laps. But this is on Sonoma in Northern California, one of my favorite tracks in the game. Really fun car to drive, but I'll warn you in advance, it's temperamental.
Oh, crap. So let's take it for a short spin.
Yep. Sonoma Raceway, of course. A fan favorite. This is one of those tracks where it has every kind of corner. It just never stops throwing challenges at you. And in this car that is very, very fast, incredible acceleration out of this car, I think you'll feel it right away what this car is capable of. Good news is you don't have any opponents.
Yes. Oh, yes. No, that's only good for the opponents. Because they'll be eating dust right now.
That's right.
No, I like these temperamental cars.
But you can feel how that thing wants to bust loose.
It's busting loose.
Yep.
It's busting.
And these blind corners at Sonoma, you don't exactly know where the apex is, and it's a challenge for sure. But this, for people who are at Gamescom or considering maybe coming this week, this is exclusive to Gamescom. We did not have this car and track at E3, so hopefully you guys get to come down here and play it.
Yes, so we'll just check out this one lap.
Okay.
But I really urge everyone to try it out on their own because it feels so much different than what we've seen at the other two events. Holy shit, did you just
so
stall
high, right?
on me?
The cockpit on this car is really cool too if you want to switch to cockpit mode.
Whoa, not here.
Not here, it's a little tricky here.
He just
there you go.
Unleashed his entire horsepower on me.
It's very basic inside, right? There's not a lot of fanciness here. It's a traditional race car on the inside. I just love how pure it is. You're doing all right. You're almost to the end of this. A lap of Sonoma is pretty quick, and you're almost at the end here.
Let's try this. Also, yes, it is. And I also like the different looks of all the tracks.
It's like foggy. It's like morning here at Sonoma,
yes.
right? We've gone from Dubai, where it's sunny and hot, to the deluge of the thunderstorms at the Nürburgring, here to a foggy Northern California morning. It all feels a little bit different.
Yeah. Let's check out our audience.
Yeah,
They're taking pictures.
You're famous.
They're twitching and YouTubing and Instagramming about us. Yes.
That's right.
Thanks a lot to you guys. Thanks a lot to you guys for watching, and especially thanks a lot to you for walking and talking us through the game.
My pleasure.
Have a lot of fun at Gamescom, and see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Play it on Xbox One.